and welcome to episode 13 of the Eldritch Podblast. I am Margaret.
I forgot what episode it was.
Yes.
And I am Jack.
I completely forgot what episode it was. I think this is 13.
This is definitely 13.
Yeah,
we just hadn't said it.
Yes, we hadn't said the words out loud.
No, we
so
hadn't said the word
100%.
13.
Yes. Hello, welcome to episode 13. How is everyone? How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
I am very good, thank you. Glad to be here on this lovely Thursday afternoon.
It is Thursday today, but when you're watching this, it'll be Monday.
It will be Monday. Yes, exactly.
We're on a Thursday.
Yeah. So should we retcon this lovely Monday afternoon?
You're so clever.
It probably won't be afternoon either. It will be
probably
5:15,
which is definitely the evening.
Well, yes. Anything we would like to update the people on?
We're just gonna get it out the way.
Mm.
We didn't kill Razagath.
Jack, we didn't discuss this either.
No, we
you know
didn't
what?
kill her.
I was just gonna skim past right past
I'm
that.
gonna be upfront and honest and say we didn't kill her.
We didn't.
We did get it to phase 3.
We did. We
but
got it to 19%.
Everyone was so dead at that point.
So dead.
I was still alive, but that's because I have about 46 defensives.
Yes.
Unfortunately, as a hunter, you do not have
I
that
have
luxury.
Approximately 4.
4, and they're all on about a 5-minute cooldown.
Yeah, in fact, I don't have 4. I have 3, and I have 1 self-heal, which is pathetic. If you don't know what we're talking about
World of Warcraft.
The World of Warcraft.
And I'm a warrior, and they are very, very tanky, and I can usually survive a lot, whereas Margaret's a hunter.
I literally can walk left, wrong, and die.
Oh, yeah. Like, this expansion, I can't believe how squishy hunters are.
Oh,
they've never been this squishy
never
before.
been this squishy.
No, never.
I never had this problem last expansion. But no, we didn't kill her. But it's Thursday today. Monday today. And we are going to go again on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So I think after the confidence of getting to the last phase, we'll do it.
Yeah.
I think
Fingers
so.
crossed. Hopefully.
Anything else?
I don't think so. We played D&D last night.
We did play D&D last night.
And we had some big...
we had a betrayal.
Yeah, you had a bit of a betrayal.
We had a betrayal. I don't want to talk about it too much. I say as we're on a D&D podcast. I'm sure you guys...
Yeah, but there's, there'll be a time and place to talk about the campaign if people want to hear it.
Basically, Josh is a shadow sorcerer, and he had, like, another entity living in his head that was kind of keeping his, like, crippled body alive.
Yeah, he was part of a human sacrifice, basically, for a ritual, and, unwillingly. And it, like, took the majority of his life force and he was about to die. And then an entity offered itself to him.
Yes.
And said, like, I will keep you alive. You will keep me alive because I can't survive without a body and you can't survive without my strength.
Yeah, and neither of us know what happened. So let's figure it out together.
Yeah, like, both of them are sort of, like, in the dark about what happened to both of them.
Yeah. Fucking spoiler. Turns out the dude in Igneous's head knew exactly what was going on.
The whole time.
And it was a trap. And he led us right to his body, and now he's going to kill us.
Yes, and now he's trying... the strength of him being so close has allowed this person's body to reanimate.
So that was very interesting.
And, yeah.
So, if we never post this podcast again, it's because we all died, and so have I.
You won't all die.
Quite frankly.
There's a potential that Josh's character might die.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too. I think there's a looming death.
And I think Josh understands that as well.
I think Josh lives for that. I think Josh is...
And I know that I can, not hang that over Josh, but I can do those things to Josh because that excites Josh.
Yes, I agree. Totally.
Josh gets excited when there's, like, a lot on the line, like a lot of at stake. So he's, he's excited.
Yes.
And I'm excited.
I'm excited. I think we're all excited.
We had Josh's and Margaret's backstories are heavily linked.
Yeah, they are.
Well. Like,
they are. There was some info about my girl.
Yeah. What the ritual that was supposed to release something that this group of wizards wanted to release, this guy fucked up the ritual on purpose to not release that thing because he's got that thing captured himself.
Oh man, there's so many layers to it.
And he released something else. And
which is turns out my mortal enemy.
And which is your mortal enemy.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more deep than that, but...
Yeah.
But you two are heavily intertwined.
Yeah, if you guys want to hear about kind of what's going on in the campaign and the story and our backstories, let us know. Obviously, we'll go over.
Yeah.
But there was actually one thing I did want to update on.
Go on.
Is my sleeping routine at the minute.
Yeah. That's been... Man, that's been chaos.
So I go through phases where sometimes I will sleep sound like a little baby, like absolutely nothing going on in the world.
I don't think that you're not sleeping like a baby at the minute.
Well, there's also times where I wake up every night, multiple times a night, and say crazy shit.
Yes.
And that's the phase that I'm in right now.
You are currently in one of those phases.
Yeah.
The other, she's in a bit of a turning the light on phase currently.
I do love the turn the light on. Ooh.
She had a dream that the dog sleeps, in the same room as us and stuff like that.
The same room. He sleeps in the bed with us.
He gets in and out of the bed as he pleases. Margaret had a dream that the dog's face was made of rocks.
Yeah, I had a dream that
she turned the light on and just began to rub his face, and I was like, Margaret, what are you doing?
Both of them were like,
me and the dog were both looking at her like, what are you doing?
What?
And then not last night, the night before, you just got up. That was like, because we have like lazy lights like next to the bed.
Yeah.
And then we have like main lights near the door. The other one was the lazy light. This time, two nights ago,
I turned on the big room
she just
light.
got up, walked across the room, turned the light on, turned around, and just looked at me and the dog. And me and the dog were both like.
To be fair, I was also like. We were. All,
me and the dog were like, "What are you doing?" You were like, "You asked me to turn the light on to check on the dog," and I was like, "No, I didn't."
You know that
I was
meme?
literally unconscious.
That meme of that guy who's like. It was all three of us confused, and then there was another time where I always do this. I think in that time between when I'm like asleep and just waking up, those brief moments, I feel like Jack is conspiring against me.
Yeah, we've had a few. Jack was talking to a sniper on top of the wardrobe, and then I was giving him signals to
like Jack,
pull the trigger at Margaret.
I have this thing in my head where like he knows another language and he constantly talks in this other language to someone else in the room when I'm asleep.
Yeah. One time he thought I was opening a portal.
One time I thought he was opening a portal to hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was very scared. And I was watching him. There was a mirror in the room at the time, and I was watching him in the mirror opening a portal behind me, which was great. But this instance, I thought you'd said something weird.
Like what?
I don't know. I can't recall what I thought you said. But I thought you had said something weird. So I sat up and leant over you. I was like, what the fuck did you just say?
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
And Jack, obviously having no idea what's going on, wakes
asleep.
up shocked with me leaning over
Imagine
him.
If you're asleep and then there's somebody like,
what the fuck did you just say? And you, of course, were like, what are you talking about? I didn't say anything.
I was asleep.
And then as you were saying that, it woke me up. So then I was aware that I had done something. So I started to try to explain to you what I thought you said, and then I was having a dream, and you just turned over. And you just said, could you take any longer to explain this?
And the thing is, I don't even think I asked. I don't even think I asked for you to explain it. You just started to explain it.
So I obviously got offended at that.
Of course.
And I turned around, and I remember just saying half asleep, I was just trying to protect you.
This is your fault.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it goes in phases. Like
it does.
There's periods where she just sleeps through like a baby. And the thing is, when you're not doing that, you sleep fine.
I do.
But there's just times where she goes through phases where, like, it doesn't matter what it is, she'll just get up, accuse me of things, turn the lights on, and be like, "Oh, what did you say?" And I'm like, "I didn't say
literally nothing.
I'm asleep."
Yeah, literally, absolutely.
And I don't sleep talk. We've had a sleep recorder.
See, because it happens to me so often. I think you're saying something. I think maybe you do say things.
But we've had sleep recorders. We've tried this, and the only one that sleep talks is you.
Yeah,
you're the one that sleep talks.
Yeah,
and you mumble some absolute tosh when you're asleep.
I do. Yeah, we have recorded things in the past that I've said, and I say some weird shit.
Oh, you do, yeah.
Weird stuff.
But I don't say anything.
Well.
The only time I say anything is, if I'm drunk, and we don't drink anymore. I haven't drank in a long time.
True.
So that's the only time I would ever say anything.
Yeah, that's true. So that's the update on our lives.
Yeah.
I hope you guys are having just as much of a wonderful time and aren't being as weird in your sleep as I am.
Yes.
And I hope you killed Heroic Razageth.
Yeah, I hope you killed Heroic Razageth. Let me know if you killed Heroic Razageth.
So,
how you got through phase 2 with everyone alive.
Yeah, please, advice in the comments. Please. So, shall we get on to today's topic?
No.
Oh, no.
Thank you all. we just want to say it at the beginning of every session because it's a little bit crazy to us.
It is.
So how fast this podcast's taken off. Yeah, I know to some other people you'd be like, yeah, you've only got like 1,600 followers and that, but for like,
listen, for us,
and you only get like this many views. It is beyond our expectations of what we thought it was going to be at this point.
Yeah.
So we just want to say thanks because every time we upload a video and the support you show us,
honestly blown away.
The comments and stuff, we're just it's amazing. So I just wanted to quickly. Not spend too much time on it, but just say thanks. Just say thanks.
Honestly, thank you guys. We cannot believe, just to completely echo Jack's sentiment, cannot believe how supportive you are. Monday. So today, the last video we posted was our 1 month anniversary one at the time of recording.
Yeah.
And the amount of people who congratulated us and said extremely kind things.
Yeah.
Thank you. That it's so appreciated. Couldn't do it without you.
Yeah. So thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, actually, that was a really nice segue into what we're talking to. Talking to?
Who are we talking to?
Who are we talking to?
Have someone flying on the screen now.
Yes.
I don't know about this.
We are actually doing some submissions today.
We are doing some submissions. I think we put the submission form up, and in like the first week, we got 7 submissions, which we were like...
Which we could not believe.
We were like, oh my God, 7 submissions. I can't believe it. I thought we'd only get like 1 or 2. And then I think people seeing that we're
reading out
actually
submissions.
Reading out the submissions. Everyone was like, oh, cool.
We have like 35 submissions now,
since the last podcast.
Which again is absolutely unbelievable. And we had enough submissions now that we were able to come through and be able to put some semblance of a cohesive episode together.
Yeah, like this is all
submissions, yeah.
So that's craziness.
So this is slightly different because normally what we do is we review like an unpopular opinion, or we do a horror story, or we do Am I the Arsehole? We actually do have, I think, 4 Am I the Arsehole topics.
Yeah.
And then we have 5 advice topics, like just giving us scenarios and asking for our advice.
Yeah.
And to be honest, a lot of these advice could fall into horror stories and then ongoing horror stories.
Okay.
There's a crossover between all of them.
Yeah.
But we just thought, why not?
Like 35 submissions in 1 week is quite a lot. Yeah. If we don't get round to yours, we are really sorry.
Yeah,
we're trying to get round to everything.
Yes.
But again, at the same time, thank you all so much.
Oh, 100%.
You have fueled this podcast.
You literally
this
right
podcast
now
is written by you.
By you. And I probably am a little biased because I love you guys. But some of these submissions, all of these submissions are brilliant. Honestly, the ones that we're going through today, brilliant. Really like, I was going to say thought-evoking, but truly thought-evoking questions and scenarios that I really hope, if at the very least, there's some sort of advice we can give you here, and you can take something positive away from this.
So going forward, if you've got something that you're struggling with, anything, just send in the request and we'll look at it.
Please do. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you.
Yes. And
Oh.
Now what?
Oh, now what?
I guess it's a Mexican standoff. Put him up.
Why? I don't want to put him up.
Put him up.
Okay.
Bang.
Oh, well, I lose.
There you go.
Okay. Well, I'm dead. Guess I'm dead.
Guess I'll go first. So, we are going to go through the advice section first, and then we're going to finish on the Am I the Arseholes?
Sweet. Awesome. That sounds good.
Shall we just get right into it?
Yeah, hit me with number 1.
Okay. Number 1.
Yeah.
I'm lost on what to do with this player.
Okay.
So this was submitted by Finn, they.
Okay.
They've put next to their name, Finn in brackets, aka the best DM ever. And then an arrow saying, that's satire, by the way.
You can be the best DM ever.
You can be the best DM ever. Finn, we appoint you the best DM ever.
For this episode, Finn is the best DM ever.
Exactly. And Finn, that's just the card he dealt.
Yeah.
So.
Finn, they.
Okay,
amazing.
So, I am a DM on my 2nd campaign, and I struggle a little with confrontation. I feel like one of my players isn't taking the setting seriously and has ignored the boundaries set in place. The campaign I'm running is an online campaign. I, 15 male He-They. The game is mainly adults, but one player, who I'll call Greg, is the other minor. The actual concept of the campaign is that they are new students at the first adventuring university. In session 0, the players decided that they would like to be 18 plus, so I set that boundary. Of course, Greg didn't like that idea and insisted on being a child in the game. Also, Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Also in session 0, we decided upon a high fantasy setting. My reasoning is that since the world has been peaceful for so long, technology hasn't advanced, because I like the idea that conflict equals advancement.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it does. I feel like a lot of people do
Yeah,
that as
you
well.
know, there's never like innovation like war effort innovation.
Indeed.
Because that's sort of like
That's
when you have to do something.
You have to innovate,
Your hand is like forced to do it. I like that. It's really cool.
I do too. Yeah, Finn, you're the best DM ever.
You are the best DM ever.
He basically called the idea dumb and thinks that it should be a modern fantasy, and I've seen his play style. He wants to be the comic relief so bad. And there is nothing wrong with that, except we said it was going to be a serious game. Then in our second game, when the players were running from the police, he got caught after being paralyzed and being unable to speak, which I said multiple times. He interrupted... Pardon me.
Oh,
I had a little burp there.
That's okay. Pardon you.
He interrupted other people to tell the same joke, which was the lyrics, "Fuck the police coming straight from the underground."
Right, okay.
He rinsed that joke dry until 2 other players had to tell him to stop. There have been many times where he interrupts players to say jokes and makes the table go silent. He has stated many times his goal is to make me, as a DM, have a horrible time.
Why would that be your goal?
Another thing that bugs me is that the 2 other players want to run Waterdeep, but he is strictly opposed to pre-written adventures for 2 reasons. In verbatim, it's stupid, and I can't make the DM feel like shit. It just rubs me the wrong way.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that rubs you the wrong way. Why would that? I just don't understand this. That adversarial like DM player vibe. It's some people like it, and some DMs are totally fine with it.
Some DMs lean into it and enjoy it, but
most don't.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I don't.
I would just kick him.
It sounds like Finn doesn't either.
No, it sounds like Finn, you don't either. I would just kick him, but he is a good role player, and he has helped me a lot and really cares for his backstory. What's your take?
Okay.
So there's
a couple of things.
This is layered. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of things.
Yeah.
The bit at the beginning, the bit about everyone decided to be you and Finn are the Finn and this player are the youngest.
Finn and Greg are the youngest.
Finn and Greg are the youngest.
Yeah, they're apparently the only other minors.
Okay, and they're playing with... So it sounds like everyone's comfortable playing with these 2 15-year-olds, the other adults.
Yes.
Okay. So that sounds like everyone's in agreement that it's okay to have those 2 15-year-olds at the table.
Yes.
But then everyone said, I want to play...
18 plus.
18 plus.
Yes.
And then you make a child character.
Yes.
I never feel comfortable with this.
I also never feel comfortable with this.
Like, you're going to fight. People may potentially be killed.
Yeah.
You're going to probably commit crimes. And
yes.
For your character to be a child.
Yes.
I personally, if anyone says to me in my campaign, like, my character's like under the age of 18, I don't really like that.
Yeah, no, I agree. And to be honest, it all does completely depend on the table. We don't really have much context to what type of game Finn is running here.
Mm-hmm.
Although it says that it's an adventuring university, right? And they're all being 18 plus apart from Greg. If it's decided that there isn't going to be adult themes in the game, then...
Yeah, if there's no adult themes in the game, then...
But I mean, at the same time, you could argue that combat is an adult theme, regardless of what. And you know what? There's enough bad shit going on Earth.
Yeah.
We don't need to pretend to be kids in a...
So, the other thing is... what was it? Like, they are... These people are at 2 different points in their life. Finn is 15, and this other person is 15, and the other people are over 18.
Yes.
Those people... Like, at that point in your life, 3 years between 15 and 18, or even in excess of that if they're over 18, 19, 20, whatever.
Yeah.
That gap is so big in terms of where you are in your life.
Very, very much so. Yeah, very much so.
When you are 15 and playing D&D, you probably do want to shout, "Fuck the police coming straight from the underground."
Yeah,
I get it, but, if your DM has said at the beginning of the campaign, like, this is a serious campaign, and it sounds like everyone's trying to keep in character and keep in role and stuff like that, and if you just... Comic relief is fine.
Oh, no, you have to have comic relief.
To an extent.
Oh, yeah. Once again, there's a fine line between being the comic relief and then taking it too far.
Taking the piss.
Yes, which it sounds like Greg is obviously taking it too far.
It sounds like Greg is taking it too far.
Because the other 2 players had to tell him to stop.
Yeah, and it sounds like the other 2 players like trying to roleplay out the scene of you being captured, Greg, and you're just interrupting them, shouting, "Fuck the police," going straight from the underground.
Yeah.
And look, Like, if that's what you want to do, fine. But like, I think you got to read the room.
Yes, definitely.
You've got to read the room.
But are you capable fully of doing that at 15?
Are you capable of doing that at 15? This is what I'm saying. But you are at 2 different points in your life.
Yeah. At the same time, though, Finn, who is also 15, is also...
Finn might be, wise beyond his years, is the greatest DM in the world.
Yes, obviously.
So I think what you need to do is...
Well, there's another point that was made in here, is the fact that Greg goes out of his way to say he wants the DM to have a horrible time. I think all the other stuff is something that can probably just be
a conversation.
Yeah, that can just be worked on. The attitude of he wants you to have a horrible time, and he doesn't want to play a module purely based on the fact that, first of all, it's stupid, which it isn't.
Which is just not right.
But he can't make the DM feel like shit. There is something else going on under there.
And like we said, like, Greg isn't the only person like this.
Oh no, of course not.
Players. There is a lot of games where it's like the DM versus the players.
Very much so.
But I think
it doesn't sound like Finn is trying to set this.
It doesn't sound like Finn's trying to run that sort of game, though.
No.
And that's something that I always mention in session 1. It's like, I'm on your team. I want you to succeed. The story is there for you to uncover and succeed.
Yes.
But there are enemies in the world that are against you. That's not me.
Yes.
And I don't understand this mindset of, I want you to have a horrible time. You're a player too, as a DM.
The DM is a player as well, and the DM has to have a good time. Otherwise, what's the point?
I think the only thing to do here is, Finn, speak to Greg.
Yeah.
You can have it as a whole table discussion if you want, but it is more than fine to just have it with just Greg.
Yes, and you know what? I completely understand. You say you struggle with confrontation. I completely understand that.
I get that.
But at the same time, this doesn't have to be a confrontation.
It doesn't sound like a confrontational conversation that has to be had.
It's just a conversation. You just have to remember, if you don't go in being aggressive, I know it sounds like you wouldn't be.
It sounds like you're not an aggressive sort of person.
No, but if you just go in and, you know what, the most important thing to do is to be honest.
Yeah.
And to go to Greg and say, look, the fact that you say that you want me to have a horrible time genuinely does upset me.
Yeah, that doesn't sit right with me.
Is it okay if we just have a conversation about it?
Yeah. I think going in with that point that you made at the end, like, you are a good friend of mine and you have really helped me.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can tell you really care about your backstory, which is great.
And you're a great role player, and I really want to have you at the table.
Yeah, but there's just...
break those walls down immediately.
Exactly.
And let Greg know that this isn't a... Like,
you're not telling him off.
You're not telling him off, and it's not like you get it or you go.
Yeah, like a lump it.
It's not like that. It needs to just be like, I love you as a player. You're a great friend of mine. You've helped me so much.
Yeah.
You're a fantastic role player, and I want you in the group. But these few things, are just the things that are maybe making me a little bit uncomfortable at the minute.
Yes, definitely.
Is there a chance that you could work on those things?
Yeah, or even if you just ask him, why do you feel like this? Mm-hmm. That could uncover a whole other section of context to this that you maybe didn't have prior.
Yeah, ask Greg why.
Yeah.
They have that sort of, I want to make the DM feel like shit sort of thing.
It could be something as simple as, Greg just thinks that's how it is.
Yeah.
Greg just thinks it's DM versus player.
That's how I played in my last campaign.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you can say, okay, well, that's not how I like it.
He might not realize that it bothers you.
Yeah, true.
And, if you have this conversation with him and then nothing changes, that's the point where you can start making decisions like, okay, do I want to continue to play with Greg?
Is this player right for my table?
Exactly. But you have to have the conversation.
I think you need to have the conversation first before making any actions, because, it sounds like Greg is a good friend of yours, and there's maybe just some misunderstandings. So.
Yeah, and honestly, things like the wanting to be the comedic relief.
Me.
Yeah. But you also can where that line ends.
Yeah, and there's a time and place for it. And if it's like there's nothing worse, and I don't know if this has happened in yours, than there being like a really heavy sort of moment in the campaign where, I don't know, maybe one of the characters has died, or there's like a real big backstory reveal, and your character's like deep in the roleplay, and then there's people like popping jokes, and it's not that's not funny and stuff like that, but there's a time and place,
of course,
to pop the jokes, and I think everyone needs to understand there's a time for the jokes, but then there's a time to roleplay.
Yeah,
and be serious.
There's a chance that this is something that Greg might just understand in time.
Yeah.
However, if it continues, you can just do something super simple as a DM and just move them along from the conversation.
Yeah.
Like, I
But at the same time, you know, if there's something that you want to get out of a conversation and Greg is just interrupting you with the jokes, I think that will get... That might be an easier problem to fix, other than the adversarial attitude.
Yes.
I think that's quite a hard one to fix.
Yes, I agree. I think just have a conversation with him, a private conversation.
Yeah, however I would say a private's probably better than with the group. Yeah, I would say
private, and then just be honest with him, and then see where that goes. Yeah. And if you will know very quickly how this conversation is going to go. Yes. Is basically what I'm saying. But it sounds like you have to say something. Oh, I burped again. Sorry.
Got a burpy drink.
Oh, yeah, water. Yeah. So gassy. Yeah. Honestly, Finn, have a conversation with him. Yeah. It could be something so simple that one conversation will fix.
Agreed.
It might not be, but you won't know until you have the conversation. Yeah. And
you know,
it's hard.
It's gonna take a lot for you.
It is.
And don't think there's anything wrong with that, because, you know, not being a confrontational person, there's a lot of people like that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that.
Nothing at all. So, you know.
Hey, I even now, to this day, some of my best friends who I've been friends with for decades, sometimes even I get nervous having to have conversations like this with my friends. Yeah. And I wouldn't say I'm a lot less confrontational than I used to be.
Oh, that's for sure. Margaret can be confrontational.
I used to be a scrappy little rat when I was younger, but, you know, it still gives me that nervous feeling. Yeah. So it's totally normal.
You're not alone there.
You're not. I hope it gets sorted out, Finn.
I hope it does. Let us know.
I hope you have a and if you're watching this and you're hearing this and you do have a conversation, please let us know how it went. Yes. I really hope that this was helpful.
Helpful in any way.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Best DM ever. Okay. Shall we move on to the next?
Yes, number 2.
So, number 2. Any DMing tips and tricks to make my experience easier? And this is coming from Meals. It was she, they.
What was the name?
Meals.
Meals?
Meals. She said it was her favourite nickname.
That's a cool nickname.
Meals. So, hi guys. I first saw you guys through TikTok and moved to YouTube to watch your full podcast. Thank you.
Hello. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. I'm just looking for some advice on DMing. Okay. I'm new to D&D and I have only played one game with a couple of friends, and we had to pause due to friends moving away and work uni schedules. Mm-hmm. My main experience comes from watching Dimension 20 and some episodes of Critical Role.
Cool.
I'm going to burp again. I'm so sorry.
You should be.
Oh, could I? I'm currently creating my own world and everything from the ancient written language to the gods. I have also been a creative person from music to writing stories.
Amazing.
I'm super nervous to show my more experienced friends that play every other week with different groups what I've made so far. They are more my partner's friends than mine as well, which builds the anxiety for me. But they're such big nerds like me, so I'm also super excited to show them.
Nice.
I'm hoping you could shed some light on how to better my world building and any DMing tips and tricks to make my experience easier. And then she's put in a note. The ancient language is something I found on Reddit. I don't think I could create a whole language by myself. Me, neither.
Oh, never. I could never do that.
She put a note too that just says, love you guys.
Oh, thank you so much.
Love you too, Meals. Thank you.
Okay. First of all, get it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. It sounds
super dope.
Yeah, it sounds like you are really setting yourself up here to have a great time, great campaign. That's very, very exciting.
Okay.
And to be honest,
I got 2 pieces of advice, but carry on.
I was going to say, this is kind of similar for you because when you first started DMing, we had Matthew, who was definitely more experienced than us when you first started DMing.
Yes.
So I don't know if this is something that you share a sentiment with. I'm kind of speaking for you here, but
oh yeah, 100%. I've been in your position probably about 2.5 to 3 years ago. I was in this position, running a game for somebody who had never played D&D before. Yeah. Somebody who played D&D the exact same amount as me, which was you, and somebody who'd played D&D for
much longer
years before.
Yeah.
So I had a mixture. The first piece of advice I'm going to give you: have a session 0.
Yes.
And go through everything that you would normally go through in a session 0. I think we have a video on this.
We do have a couple of videos. Yeah. I'll link them either at the end or I'll link them.
Do that thing where you're pointing at the card.
I'll link them.
You know, that's like what YouTubers do.
I'll link them here.
And you know, like if you want to watch that, totally do. And like
we do have a world building video, definitely.
One thing that I would like to talk to you about.
Yes.
In that session, be open and honest and say to these players who've played for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
I am new.
Yes.
And, I will ask you, there might be points where I ask you for help.
Yeah.
And, and please be lenient with me.
Yes.
And please don't maybe expect too much from me. Like, this is, go through, like, what we can expect and the things that I'm going to do. And, like, if I mess things up, like, be open and honest. Like, look, I've been playing, I build my own worlds, and I would like to think that I put a lot into the lore.
Yeah, definitely.
The lore is the thing that, like, excites me the most, like, the story. And even I fuck up my own story, a handful of times.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it doesn't matter that you fuck it up. You can just be like, I said that wrong. It's this. Never be afraid to retcon a mistake.
No one's going to care.
No one's going to care.
Absolutely no one's going to care. I can promise you say you watch Dimension 20 and you watch Critical Role. Promise you, those DMs as well, they fuck things up all the time.
Fuck things up all the time. And do you want to know what? There's one huge piece of advice that I have for you. This isn't what I was going to talk about, but there's another thing that's come to my head. Your players have no fucking clue what your story is.
Yes. Regardless of how experienced they are, how long they've been playing, they don't know your world.
They have no idea what you've got planned.
Exactly. You know your world. And if you say something that potentially wasn't exactly how it was written down, they're not going to know.
And also, don't beat yourself up about it.
Yeah, it happens. Truly, truly. A piece of advice I can give you from when I DM'd, which was for only about 2 months.
Yeah.
And I stopped because I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah,
but
which is fine.
One thing that really got me down was the idea that I wasn't living up to people's expectations and I wasn't good enough at giving them lore when they asked for it. After the fact now, I see how silly that is because all of my friends, and first of all, yes, I know you say they're more your partner's friends, but they're still your friends.
Yeah, and if they're willing to play with you,
they want you to succeed.
And just remember, they want to turn up and play Dungeons and Dragons.
Exactly. Everyone at the table after the fact had said, I never considered for a second that you weren't giving us the right information at the right time.
We don't know.
Exactly. And everyone said exactly what you said. We were just happy to turn up, have a game, and have a good time.
Yeah. The thing is, a lot of the time I can talk to Margaret about this. I can get in my own head about like, oh, well, I haven't done enough of this and I haven't done enough of that and I didn't do it to the best of my ability. Just remember that your friends want to turn up and play Dungeons and Dragons with you, the Dungeon Master, and they're happy that you've planned a session for them and put that effort into the game. Like, a lot of people can get on top of themselves like, oh, it wasn't this and it wasn't that, but what was it?
Yeah.
Because everyone seemed to thank you and say, that was a great session, thanks a lot for running it.
Exactly.
I mean, people just want to turn up and play Dungeons and Dragons.
And you say they're just big old nerds.
Yeah.
Big old nerds just want to do nerd stuff. We just want to have fun.
Like I said, if you've gone in session 0 and be like, I am new, so, just like give me a little bit of leeway and like give me a bit of lenience.
And they should.
And they should. And if they don't, then,
then that's a different conversation.
You can address that at that point. But if they're all on the page and like, yeah, cool, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I would just be open and honest with them in that first instance.
Definitely.
On the world building.
Yes.
Meals. I am not the best world builder. I am more than happy to say that. I build myself a map. I concentrate very much. I always divide my map into like sections and regions.
Yeah.
Because it's going to take the party at least a week to get from one region to the next. And I will focus mostly on what is in front of me.
Yes.
Like, they're in this town, and this is what's going on in this town. And I will maybe just flesh out just a bit of the region that they're in.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the thing is, they're not going to just be like, in session 1, they're not going to turn to an NPC and be like, can you tell me about every single town in this? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You don't need to know those things.
Yeah, and that was a mistake I made. I tried to flesh out the world too much, and then I had too much information going on in this tiny pea brain.
It becomes overwhelming. You need to...
It does.
You need to plan what's in front of you.
Yeah.
You need to flesh out what's in front of you.
Unless you would be more comfortable fleshing everything out, in which case, of course, do that. But just know you don't have to.
Oh, yeah. If you feel comfortable with that, go for it.
Yeah.
Like, that's awesome. But for me, if I tried to do that, I'd bog myself down and I wouldn't plan, I won't put the effort into the session that's in front of me.
Yeah.
Like, what's happening next session? I'll plan that.
Yes,
and along with that, I'll probably just plan like a little bit extra of the region and the politics of the region. It depends. Like, are you running like a very politically driven campaign?
Yes, yeah.
Is it just a story that they're going to uncover?
Yeah.
like my players don't really care so much about what's not in front of them.
Yes,
you guys love to just
very
tackle
much on,
what's in front of them.
And you will definitely learn what your players like as well.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to change up your style.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like, plan as much as you... There's people out there that are like, well, I don't plan anything, and if you plan loads, that's just like cringe. That's not true.
That is not true. And
not
the
true at
people
all.
who overplan and say you need to overplan, that's not true as well.
No.
What's true is what is going to work for you. And being completely honest, you probably won't work that out until a little bit further down the line, but we promise you will.
Yeah, unless you just get super lucky and just figure it out on day one.
Yeah.
Which you can do, but like I'm like, what, 2.5 to 3 years into DMing,
and you're still working it out.
I've played like every single week for 3 years.
Yeah.
And, I still don't have it 100% figured out. I'm a lot closer.
Yes,
and
yes,
I'm, there's times where we went into a bit of a dungeon crawl yesterday, so there was quite a lot to plan.
Yeah.
But, there's times where they're just traveling, or there's times where they're just gathering information
Mm-hmm.
before they head out, and there isn't as much for me to plan, and I don't feel uncomfortable sort of leaving that up
of course.
to just being improvised.
Yeah, and you have to think, you probably will never have it all, because it's an adaptive game where it's constantly moving around your players, and it's moving around you and your story. So don't feel like you have to have it all, because you don't.
And you'll begin to be like, all right, this is how much I'm comfortable planning. And then you'll begin to feel out your players and what they are like. Is somebody quite invested in the lore?
Yes.
Are they more just like my party who just wants to tackle what's in front of them and then they'll figure out what's next?
Yeah.
Like, you will feed off your players and plan for your players.
Definitely.
So, give it your best go, plan what you feel comfortable, and then don't be afraid to change that.
Yeah.
Don't be like, oh, well, I planned this much this week, so I have to plan that much that week.
Yeah.
Don't feel like that's the case.
And I know that you say you're anxious about it, but I promise you.
God, I was anxious on my first session.
Well, and even your players are going to be anxious. Your players are going to be anxious because they'll be playing new characters. They'll be playing with a new DM. I don't know if you've all played together before or not, but do you know what I mean? Yeah. Everyone is nervous.
It's like that phrase. When you walk into the room and you're like, all eyes are on me, but everyone's thinking about what they look like to you.
Exactly.
Everyone's so concerned with themselves, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, everyone's thinking about the voices for the characters, the backstory for the characters,
exactly.
what the first thing they're going to say when you introduce them, their character description. So everyone's gonna be nervous.
Yes.
So don't worry.
So I guess to summarize, don't plan what you don't want to.
Yeah. Plan what you feel comfortable with.
Everyone is going to be nervous.
Yes.
You don't have to have it all.
You don't have to have it all. And also, have that session 0.
Yes.
And be open and honest that, you can even say, like, I am a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with saying to people.
Not. No.
So just, like, take it easy on me and stuff like that. And if they're like, oh, yeah, of course, then
there you go.
That'll immediately, like, give you a little bit more space to breathe and stuff like that. So just be open and honest with your players.
Yeah. That's honestly.
And good luck. It sounds like it's going to be sick.
I hope that this is going to be the start of your lifelong D&D career.
Is Meals going to be the next greatest DM after Finn?
Listen, Finn, she's after you. Yeah. Good luck.
Good luck.
I hope you have an amazing time.
And you also let us know how it goes.
Yes. Please do. Please do. Okay.
Yeah.
That was great.
That was thank you.
That was great. Okay, so let me just see how many more advice. So we have 5 advice things, and this is
the third one.
This is the third. Yes,
this is the third.
This is the third one. Okay. Yikes is all I can say.
Okay.
So this person would like to remain anonymous. They didn't state their pronouns, so just say them.
Okay.
We have been playing D&D with our group for 2+ years.
Okay.
It started small with our best friends, and my boyfriend being our forever DM. Now we are at 7 players, and I am so proud of how our DM has adjusted, keeps track of all of us, and still makes us feel special individually, with nods to our backstories and our badass homebrew weapons and magic items.
Love that.
Hell yeah.
I love doing homebrew, like, abilities and magic items and stuff like that, but I do it for 4 people. So, like, the fact that you do it for 7, and, like, the fact that they all feel included with, like, nods to the backstories and things, that's good.
Wild. Well done.
Well done, this DM.
Well done to your DM.
And good for you for
being
so nice to them, and that means a lot.
Yeah, we play a completely homebrew campaign, and he is so good at improvising on the spot. We just have a silly, goofy time for 4 hours once a week.
Perfect.
That's all you could ever
Amazing.
want. Anyway, our most recent addition to the campaign is not my favourite. I always like them as a person, but seeing their behaviour in game as well as how they treat our DM really makes me upset. This would be an Am I the Arsehole post, since I am the DM's girlfriend and might be more sensitive to anything directed at him. I feel that. I feel like this post really resonated with me personally. However, I have spoken to others in our party. They are some of our closest friends, and I see them frequently outside of the game, and it bothers them as well, which leads me to believe I am, in fact, not the asshole.
Okay.
The player is constantly... The player constantly is...
Oh, no. Oh, no.
No. Here we go.
Here we go.
It's begun.
No, you've got this.
The player is constantly rudely fact-checking things our DM says, sometimes in the middle of storytelling. When the DM is making a decision, usually in our favour, the player references the rule book, which they keep open on their phone while we play. Player talks over our DM. They get heated when losing in battle or is dealt consequences for bad decisions during roleplay, rolls their eyes, and has left the table mid-fight! Exclamation.
Okay.
It seems their main priority is creating a beefy character rather than the mystery or roleplay, and only cares about battle if they are rolling well. Look, we all love the game and we are all emotionally attached to it. We also all love our DM. He's fair, patient, makes the game fun, and takes criticism well. It's not like we don't give our DM shit. We yell at him if he gets too excited about a high attack roll from a monster. Yep.
Oh, yeah, I can feel that. Trust me, I can feel that.
We hate unhelpful NPCs just for a laugh. So do we.
Yeah.
But having sassy banter and being completely rude are two very different things.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. I brought up the situation to my boyfriend privately and let him know how people were feeling, including myself. He was obviously bummed that we weren't vibing as a group, and he acknowledged the situations I brought up. However, he's just a sweetie and he thinks the best of people. He says that he's just happy this player gets so into D&D and is passionate, and that he's happy to provide a space where this player can play the game with an established group. My boyfriend literally wouldn't hurt a fly, and I don't think he's capable of talking to this player about their behaviour.
Okay.
But the vibes are starting to get stale, and I'm noticing looks across the table whenever this player talks.
Okay.
Luckily, our characters continue to roleplay nicely in game at least, but it's just not the same. I fear that my safe space and weekly hangout with my best friends is turning into a toxic, defensive, bro-y version of D&D that I've avoided from the beginning. I'm at the point where if this player is rude to my boyfriend one more time, it might get really ugly, and I truly would hate for that to happen. We're all adults playing a fantasy game for fun after all. Any advice?
Yes.
So this really resonated with me. I'm not saying that we've been in a situation like this because we haven't, but I'm completely with you, OP. Listen, Jack's my fiance. We've been together for nearly 7 years now, and sorry, Finn, I think you are the best DM.
I know you think that. I know you
ever. No hate on Finn, but
all meals.
All meals. Oh yeah, sorry, all meals. Yes. Everything that OP said here, I completely agree with. I'm exactly the same. I think you are so patient. You are so willing to listen. And if someone disrespected you like that, I agree. I probably wouldn't have held on for so long. I probably would have. Yeah. Which is not the right way to deal with it. But, OP's acknowledging that.
So I don't think that, we'll just tackle it bit by bit.
Yeah.
Like building a beefy character, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, agreed.
I do not like, and it doesn't matter if it's just against the DM or against player, is don't have the rule book out. And don't fact check what the DM says. And do not speak over the DM.
No.
So if a rule needs checking, that's my job.
Yeah.
I'm the dungeon master.
Yes.
I'm the person who runs the game.
Yes.
And if I want to make an exception and say, that's not how this fucking spell works, but I think it's fucking cool, so we're going to do it.
Yeah.
Like, that's my decision to make.
Yes.
That's not this person's.
Agreed. And the problem with having the rule book open is, OP says that they're running a homebrew world. Like, it doesn't matter. Because something in the rule book says something doesn't mean that DM is running it that way.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter even if they are running it that way. The DM's allowed to make an exception at any point because it's their game.
And I agree that is extremely rude.
That's extremely rude. don't ever do that to the DM, and don't ever do that to another player.
Yes, unless they explicitly ask.
Unless they ask for it. Like, I'm going to cast this spell. I can't find it. Can somebody help me out?
Oh, yeah, that happens all the time.
That's fine. But, if they're like, I want to cast this, don't be looking it up and being like, are you sure because of this and that? And it says this. Like, don't do that. Just don't do that.
No, that is so rude.
So it sounds like I think what you need to do is, like, I can understand that you've had this game and it's like really special to you, and when you have something really special and you turn up every week and you just have fun for 4 hours and it's amazing. And when that changes because of someone, I can understand like that devastation.
It is devastating.
It's devastating.
It is absolutely devastating to be loving something and having a great time.
Especially D&D because with all of your mates.
And that's the whole point.
That's the point.
So to have one person whose vibes are off ruin everything. No, that is terrible. And there's an argument to be made that your DM doesn't mind. And OP, I understand that you care deeply for your boyfriend and you don't like someone disrespecting him. And it's obviously going to hurt you more than it hurts them. Yeah. That's just how it works.
Yeah, like there's things, somebody might like question my authority in the game, and it would probably hurt you more than it would me.
It probably would. Yeah, it probably would.
I don't give a fucking shit. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like,
but that's because we care deeply about you.
There's times where like people are like, oh, I know you said this, but can it be this? And I'll be like, yeah, fuck it. Like if that's what you want.
Yeah.
Like
it sounds like player isn't doing it like this.
But the point that I want to make is the bit that I didn't like is you look around the table and people are giving looks and stuff like that.
Yeah. It sounds like it is getting toxic, definitely.
It's getting toxic.
Yes.
And the thing is, I'm not blaming for you for that, OP. Like, not at all. Like, because it is sad to have it not the same anymore.
And to say that your safe space is being compromised, of course.
But I think it's already maybe a little bit later than it should be.
Yes, it's already gotten past the point.
It's gotten past the point.
If it's becoming toxic, it's becoming past a point.
What you need to do is sit down as a group.
You all need to have a conversation. If
a handful of you, all of you, I don't know exactly how many of you.
It sounds like everyone
are feeling this way about this player. You just need to talk to them.
You do. You really do.
And it doesn't need to be like it just needs to be honest. Like
it does.
I feel like the way that you treat the DM can sometimes be a bit much.
There's nothing wrong with saying that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you shouldn't have the rulebook open at the table and fact checking.
Yeah,
and just bring these things up with this person. And if you don't see eye to eye, and you don't agree, then it comes to the group of like, is this player right for this table?
Yes, because it sounds like, just from what OP has said, it sounds like this player potentially isn't right for this table. The
thing is, if they don't know,
yes, exactly,
how can they change?
Oh yeah, if there isn't a conversation being held, and if it's gotten to the point where there is looks being shared across the table, and we don't know anything more than that, but it has already gone too far. And I promise you, a conversation will be awkward, and
it'll be awkward.
Will be hard.
And at the beginning, it'll probably be like a little bit, not confrontational, but it may feel like that to this person.
Yes, especially if the whole group agrees.
Yeah.
But honestly, this will never get solved without conflict. And like you said, OP, without things getting ugly.
Yeah.
Without a conversation being had. This person might just not realize.
Yeah, they might not realize, like, if nothing's been said to them, they might not realize that they're upsetting so many people around the table. Yeah.
Some people just don't pick up on social cues the same way others do.
Yeah, they aren't as great, and they can't hide their emotions the same as other people can. Like if you're frustrated,
like the rolling of the eyes, and
sometimes, I don't know, getting up and walking away. Combat's not going away.
I agree,
is right.
And I think there is some bad behavior here.
There is bad behavior here.
There is bad behavior here. Without a doubt.
But if you bring that up and say, like, those things aren't acceptable, really, you can either give them the opportunity to change.
Definitely.
And the thing is, they might not want to change.
And if they don't want to change, that's your answer,
there's
isn't
your
it?
answer, really. You aren't compatible as players.
Exactly.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a table where,
where that's totally
fine.
Normal.
Like,
I agree. But and again, I know that you say that your boyfriend, the DM, isn't particularly bothered, but at the same time, you are and other players clearly are.
And that's a problem.
Yes, if even one person is having a bad time, there should be a conversation had.
100%. It doesn't matter if it's, if you don't like the way that your boyfriend's been spoken to, it doesn't matter if it doesn't upset your boyfriend. If it upsets you, that's fine. That's a problem that needs to deal with because that's how you feel. And
maybe at the point of when you do have a conversation, there can be kind of like a recession zero, if that makes sense. Go back over.
Never be scared for a recession zero.
No, definitely not. Go back over what happens in combat.
Yeah.
Some of the bad behaviors you're talking about here, like they don't like losing in combat, they roll their eyes, they leave the table. That's things that can be readdressed.
Yeah.
Always.
And I think the most important thing is readdress the fact that this person shouldn't have the rule book open.
100%.
It's like if in the game, if a DM rules something different one time, there might be a reason for that in that moment.
Yes, exactly. That you as a player wouldn't know.
Like sometimes there's things that I let slide because it might be in my favor to do so because I know what's going to happen.
Yes.
So like that person needs to just stop that. But never be scared for a recession zero. If you get a new player or if something's not right, the amount of times at the beginning of our games, I'm like, oh, I just want to talk about something.
Yeah.
Like, I basically recession zero at the beginning of every session.
Yeah,
if there's something, like, oh, we're forgetting to do this.
Yeah.
Let's all try and keep doing this. Me and all of you are all, like, struggling.
Yeah.
You guys did this last time. Love that. We should do that more.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just never be afraid to communicate, like, what you like and dislike.
Yeah, I do think there needs to be an open conversation had here. Give this player a chance to break the bad behavior.
Give them a chance.
And if they don't, then that's an answer. But hey, if they do, then there's a chance that you
said at the beginning, OP, that
you like them as a person.
You like this person as a person.
Yeah.
You just don't like how they handle themselves at the table.
Yeah.
Just give them a chance to fix it.
And OP, I do empathize with you. I really do.
I do.
Because I would be exactly the same.
Agree.
If that was happening to you, I wouldn't have been able to be such an adult about it.
Like, I love my table and the way like we operate and things like
Yeah.
that. And if somebody came in that is a great friend of mine, but they completely changed the vibe at the table, that would upset me too. Like that would upset me so much. Like D&D is so precious, and the way you do things, and just like the camaraderie between you all,
yes.
and the you turn up every week to have an amazing, like you said, have a silly time for 4 hours.
Yeah.
And when that doesn't happen, it does get devastating.
It does. It is. I agree. Completely devastating.
So, I hope that helps.
Yes, I hope it does. Honestly, have a conversation with them. All of you together, have a conversation.
Agree.
And please, again, if you hear this, I hope it helped. I hope you have a conversation. If you do, please let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
Please let us know. Okay. On to the second to last one.
Yeah, which is the fourth one.
Yes. You know what? This is going to be a long episode, I feel.
Sorry.
I hope you guys are strapped in. Do you have a drink? Are you hydrated? Do you have a snack?
Well, if you don't, pause and get those things.
Yeah. Ta-ta. But come back.
Yeah.
We miss you, please.
We'll wait.
Back.
We'll wait here.
Yeah.
Are you back?
Okay.
Are you back?
Yeah, they're back. All right. Any advice or tips for DMing for the first time or learning to DM? This person would like to remain anonymous. They say any pronouns are fine, so we'll just go there then.
All right, cool.
I want to DM a game, but I'm intimidated by the amount of stuff you have to learn and prepare. I learn better by actually doing things, rather than sitting and reading about how to do it, but I don't even know where to start. I'm the same. I learn so much better actually doing the thing and processing the information out in my own way.
See, it's weird because I learn the most by watching.
I do too, to be fair, yeah. And to be fair, OP hasn't said that. They just said, I learn it better by doing things rather than sitting and reading.
Yeah, totally fine.
I think
those rule books are big.
Yeah,
There's a lot to consume. There's a lot to take in. There's a lot to take in.
Yes. I mean,
is that?
Yeah, no, that's it.
All right, okay. I was waiting. I didn't want to interrupt you.
You know, I can tell you holding back a little bit.
Okay, let's get it from the beginning.
Let's get into
the beginning. There's a lot.
There is a lot you can do.
So, but at the same time, there's a lot. There's a lot of books. You like, look, I can see over there. I've got, I don't have all the books. I got 4 textbooks.
Yeah.
There's probably about, I don't know, 70,000 pages.
Yeah, there's too much.
There's too much. By the time you've read the last page, you won't remember what the first page said.
Nope.
don't worry about it. You don't need to know all that. Okay.
I agree.
There's a couple of things you can do.
Mm-hmm.
I learned D&D by watching Critical Role.
Yes.
Okay.
Same.
You don't need to do that if you don't want to. But I watched maybe like a handful of episodes of like campaign 2.
Yeah.
And it immediately gave me a little bit more confidence to be like, okay, this is where we roll initiative.
Yes.
Okay. Like I roll for attack and this is what I add.
Yes.
There are so many games on the internet.
Oh, so many
that you can watch just a handful of.
Yeah.
To get a vibe of like how it goes.
Absolutely. And you know what? Everyone will do it totally different.
Everyone's going to do it totally different.
Totally different.
Another thing. There are so many books.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many books. Even, you just break down the Player's Handbook, 5th edition, Xanathar's, like the actual like expansions upon the Tasha's Cauldron and everything. There's 3 books.
Yeah.
Don't be overwhelmed. In our first campaign, our Dungeon Master, Matthew, he played Dungeons and Dragons before.
Yeah.
We'd never. So he was like, we're just going to stick with PHP.
Yeah, we will just have this one book open.
We're just going to sit with Player's Handbook.
Yeah.
Like, if you limit your variables of how many things that are in the game, you'll probably make your life so much easier.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
yes.
don't be afraid to be like, oh, I'm just running the standard 5e game with none of the add-ons and things like that.
Yeah.
That's fine.
And then as you get more comfortable, you can then open the books. That's what Matthew did. He eventually opened...
He opened up Xanathar's like halfway through our campaign.
Yeah.
And, we got a chance to like change subclass and things like that with that. Find some players that are more than happy to play with you as a brand new dungeon master.
Yes.
Play with a bunch of players that if you get stuck would be more than happy to say, do you want some help?
Yes.
This is normally how it's done.
Yes.
Do not be afraid to take advice. There's times I don't know every rule.
And no one knows every rule.
And there's times where there's people around my table who are like, oh, normally it's like this. And I'm like, sick, yeah, let's do it like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Find a bunch of players that are either brand new and have no idea what to expect.
Yep.
So, there's no expectations there.
Yes.
Or find some more seasoned players that are more than happy to be patient with you.
Exactly. I think that's the most important thing, is finding someone who will be patient with you. Because, listen, there is a lot. Going in as a new DM, there is so much. And to go back to the point of what Jack said of when you learned by watching Critical Role, I can't overstate enough how helpful watching other tables play is. No, you don't have to watch Critical Role. You could watch Dimension 20.
Yeah,
you could watch
anyone on YouTube. There are hundreds of different campaigns.
Yeah.
Watch the Dungeon Dudes, the Drakkenheim campaign. I'm pretty sure they're on their second campaign now.
They are, yeah.
And you wouldn't believe it.
And XP to level 3.
Yeah.
Jeez, oh my goodness. That is such a completely different way of gameplay as well.
You watch Drakkenheim, you watch Dimension 20, you watch XP to level 3, you watch Critical Role. All 4 of them run their games completely differently.
Yes, they do.
And there is no right or wrong way between them.
Exactly. But, but with combat, you will learn things like, okay, yeah, like you said, this is when initiative goes. This is how the turn order happens.
Yeah.
This is how X, Y, and Z goes.
Yeah.
I can't overstate enough how much that helped me. And I'm similar to you. I learned by doing things, and by watching, it kind of was another form of feeling like I was doing it by just consuming it.
Like for me, like everyone learns differently. We all learn at different paces. We learn in different ways. For me, I have always learned best by watching somebody do something.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
And then being able to then go, oh, can I have
myself?
A go?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Immediately being like, all right, can I step in?
Exactly. Maybe there's people at your local game store. Maybe there's friends who run games.
Yeah.
Ask if you can just sit in and watch.
There's also, don't be afraid to co-DM.
Exactly. Yeah.
Don't be afraid. Like, we've never done it. And do you want to know what? I didn't know it was a thing for the longest time. But having someone, like, you be the person who tells the story, but having somebody else who comes up with a story.
Yes.
Like,
see, that would be my dream.
Yeah.
My dream would be being able to do story stuff, not have to worry about anything else.
There you go. But that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, there's loads of tables that do that.
Yeah. Now, in terms of things like, I don't know, world building, and in terms of getting your cadence right for things, what I did was, I loved world building because I loved writing. I loved the aspect of writing it. You can always practice by writing things out scene by scene. You can practice by writing out the descriptions of your towns, your NPCs.
Yeah.
Read them out to yourself.
Do you want pictures instead?
Exactly.
Like just sit at home, and if you like get a picture up and write a description of that person, then look at the picture and describe something,
Mm-hmm.
and then look at the description and read that out. Which one works better for you?
Yeah.
Like, there you go. There's your, which one do you feel more comfortable with? Now you know how to describe things.
Yeah.
Now you know what is more comfortable for you.
Yeah. And there is so many things. There are so many cheat sheets you can get for free. There's so many cheat sheets you can buy.
Yeah.
Etsy is a great resource for things like that.
Yeah.
Where you can get, like, to go inside your DM screen, just a cheat sheet of things that talk you through what
conditions
exactly,
and like schools of magic,
how to work out a spell save DC.
Yeah, like equations for those things. You know,
Yeah.
like, sometimes I even forget those things. So don't be pressured.
Yeah.
Like, make sure your party's comfortable with you. Like, okay, let me just look that up.
Yeah. And trust me, people will be fine with you saying, "Let me look things up."
Yeah. And do you want to know what? Don't be afraid to make things up.
Exactly.
Like, don't be afraid to just I don't know it right now. I'll figure it out later. But I'm enjoying how fast this combat's going. Let's just say it's this.
Yeah.
No one's gonna judge you for that.
Don't. This is rich coming from me. Don't overthink it. Don't. If you want to DM and you know the stuff and you have the things and you have a group, just try it.
Just give it a go.
Just try it. Why don't you start with a one shot? Why don't you run a module?
Well, yeah. Run a module. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Run a module. All of the story is written for you. All you need to do is find out how some of the mechanics of the game work.
And to be honest, the module will walk you through that anyway.
And most of the modules will walk you through the mechanics that you need to understand for those like environments, like Icewind Dale. It'll walk you through how to deal with like the environment of being just in snow all the time.
Modules are great.
The modules are amazing, especially for a new DM.
Yeah.
The one thing that I will say to you is find the group and have the session 0.
Yes.
And make sure the only thing, if you have a group that is going to be patient with you as a new DM, your experience will be 1,000,000 times better than a group that just sort of like you're taking too long. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, who aren't understanding of the fact that you're a new DM.
Yeah.
That is what is going to help you succeed.
Yes.
That's what's going to help you succeed.
Very much so.
So, I hope some of those things helped.
Yeah, we have a couple of other videos as well that we've briefly talked about things like world building and
there was a session 1 for players.
Yeah,
which I think is great to watch as a DM because you can help your players get those things ready.
Yeah, we'll link them here.
Here, we'll link them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Hope that helps. Hope you have a great time.
Yeah, and let us know how it goes.
Yes, please do. Okay, so this is the last advice one.
Amazing.
So, this is my first time ever DMing, so I wanted to make it memorable.
Okay.
Want to remain anonymous, didn't state their pronouns, so just they, them.
Amazing.
I decided to give them all an animal companion with a special ability, such as a dog that can change size for an hour once a week, or a raven that can turn into a shadow once a day.
You bourbon.
I am bourbon, sorry. You know what? I was going to be like, I can cut that out.
Nah. No way.
I asked the players not to have the animals be part of their backstories, and all but one were fine with this. This player kept trying to convince me to let it be part of the backstory, and when I told him no, he said it just wouldn't make a backstory. He said he just wouldn't make a backstory. I finally convinced him to make one, and the problem was resolved until we got to the first session. Oops, pardon me. The session started in the stereotypical tavern, where someone posted a notice asking for volunteers to take medical and food supplies to a kingdom that was recently attacked.
Cool.
Most of the party went to look at it, but this player started an argument with the barkeep and threatened to burn down the building with his breath attack. After the barkeep tried to kick him out for this, he used his breath attack on the goblets from the ale that they had previously ordered. When I tried to get him to pay for it, he kept saying and claiming that he had bought the goblets along with the ale, and at this point the interaction had already gone on for 10 minutes, so I just gave up on it and went with it.
Okay.
Afterwards, the party was walking down a road and he entered a building. 2 other players had a conversation about his character, and he had his character run up to them and argue, despite him being in the building and unable to hear them. When the party got to the mission, he insisted that he drove the cart, but as soon as they got to the woods, he jumped off the cart, which was still moving, and decided to go hunting.
Fucking hell. Okay.
Another player had to take control of it to keep it from crashing. I repeatedly tried leading him to where the party was, only for him to ignore it 3 times. Throughout the time I was with the party talking about their situation, he started watching a live stream and ignored us. When they finally reunited and had an encounter, he purposely looked at my phone that had the stats of what they were fighting. What should I do to try and fix this? it's just bad behavior everywhere, isn't it?
It's going to be very similar to the advice that I've given out, but you need to just one-on-one talk with this player.
100%.
You need
Absolutely.
to come to this player and just say, like, look, that bad, but like watching a live stream during the session.
That's weird.
That's not okay.
No, that isn't okay.
You know, like,
that's very disrespectful.
Yeah, to everyone, and especially your dungeon master who's put in the effort this week to plan your session.
Yes.
And you find, fucking, I don't know, somebody on Twitch is more entertaining than your dungeon master.
Yeah, that is very, very disrespectful.
That's very, very disrespectful.
And what's even more disrespectful than that is looking at the DM's phone to look at the stats of the monster.
Like, my players, I sit at the end of this table.
Yeah, you sit where you are.
And the two people on this side, Matthew and Josh, they have to walk around, and my laptop is there.
Yeah.
Sometimes with the monster stats on. Like, they know never to look at that screen.
Never.
Because, I've got what's happening in the session, sometimes the monsters. Like, you should never look behind the DM screen.
I agree. I completely agree. That is like that's obviously the first rule, right?
That's not fair.
That is not fair. It sounds like this player...
Look, if there's... Players can be you can be a chaos goblin. You can be a little chaos gremlin and not completely derail or everything's going on.
Yes,
there's a fine line in the game between being chaotic in a way that, I'm going to be chaotic with the party.
Yes.
Alongside my friends.
Yes.
And there's a chaotic of I'm just going to go.
And I'm gonna just
when you do
burn this barkeep.
When you do that, you have two different groups. That means two different people have to, okay, we'll stop with you now. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
While you've ran off into the woods hunting.
For yes.
And the fact that you tried to steer them back.
And then they just ignored it.
And they just turned around and went the other way.
Yeah. It sounds like in that instance that Look, to me, based on what you've said, it sounds like the player is intentionally being difficult for whatever reason that is.
Is it because you asked them to change the backstory?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I want to say, this person, the one thing you requested is that the animal isn't in the backstory.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Like, nobody should have a problem with that. Like, they don't know what you've got planned. They don't know.
They don't know how it's going to unravel.
Is this animal going to be tied to the backstory? Like, you need, that's fine. Don't feel like you've done something wrong there because you haven't.
Yes.
Are they doing it just to spite you because of that? I don't know. Is it just the way this person plays?
Yes. Yeah. Again, this is all going to be the same advice.
Yeah.
Talk to this person.
Just if it's been one session and we're at this point.
Yeah. Now is the perfect time to address it.
Don't let it go any further. Yeah. Just go straight to this person, just alone, and say, look.
Why are you acting like this?
Why are you being like this? Like, and bring up these exact examples.
Use these exact examples.
Exactly what we've told us, and say, why did you do that?
And hey, they might not perceive them as being like that.
Yeah. And if they say to you, oh, well, that's just the way I want to play. You can't tell me how I want to play. You can't. You want to know you can't. But then you will immediately know that
this player probably isn't right for your table.
This player is probably not right for your table.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But if they're like, oh, sorry, that's just how I've played like before, and my DM was more than fine, and the other players were more than fine for that to happen, I'll take on your advice and change.
Yeah.
God, perfect. Amazing.
It does sound like this player is being spiteful for the sake of being spiteful. I have to be completely honest.
We don't know until they've had a conversation.
That is true.
We don't know until they've had a conversation.
You're right.
So let them. I agree with you.
Give them the space to try and explain themselves and explain their actions.
Yeah.
And as long as you're honest and you tell them why it bothered you, tell them exactly what it was, then the conversation that will gauge how the conversation will go.
100%.
Right? Yeah. Have a conversation with this person.
Yeah. Do it.
Sorry that to be honest, to all of you who are having issues like this, it sucks. It's so hard to deal with.
It is.
Having a conversation. We can sit here all day and say, have a conversation with him. We know it's not that easy.
No, we know it's not. But if as long as we can give you the tools to tackle that conversation in the right way and bring the things up.
To let you know that it's okay to have a conversation and it's not confrontation.
No, and the thing is, obviously we're trying to give you the tools here to make it not confrontational.
Yeah.
We're trying to say, go to them with this case and just say, to the way that you acted, made me, a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And, isn't exactly what I thought I was going to get as a new DM.
Yeah.
That's not maybe how I'm going to run my game. is it okay if you maybe change how you go about acting in the game?
Yes.
Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
And if they go, no,
then
there you
there's
go.
your answer.
You have your answer.
Yeah.
But if that person is like, oh, sorry, like, that's not what, that's just the way I am. That's just the way I was in my last campaign.
Yeah.
You know that they might be able to change.
Yeah. I agree. Have a conversation with this person.
Yes.
And again,
let us know
if you do,
if that helped.
Please let us know. So that brings us to the end of the advice section.
Oh my goodness.
So, I have to be completely honest.
Yeah.
We are like over an hour in and we have just finished the advice section.
Yeah.
So, we do have some Am I the Arseholes lined up. However, listen, I know we said grab your snacks, get comfy, throw them out.
Yeah, buy your drink down the drain.
Oh, yeah. Get uncomfortable.
Chuck your snacks in the bin. Yeah, get
Become
uncomfortable.
as uncomfortable as you can, because I actually think it would probably be wiser for us to do these in the next episode, right?
All right, that's cool.
Instead of adding them onto this and having this potentially be like 300 million years long.
Okay.
Unless, well, you know what? This is a good chance to get some feedback. Would you guys prefer it if some of our episodes were longer?
Yeah.
Would it be okay with you if we did have, I'm not going to say 2-hour-long episodes because I don't think it would bleed into that, but would you guys be okay with listening to us talk for like longer than an hour and a half?
Yeah.
Like,
let us know.
Yeah.
I'm okay. Yeah, we'll put the Ham and the Assholes in the next one.
Yeah, I think
Cool.
that's probably
I really enjoyed that.
I did as well.
So it's so nice to. It's not nice. I don't want to be happy upon your misery.
No.
But
we love it.
It's nice to hear like up to date. Because some of these things that we get off the internet can be like 6 months old or a year old.
Yeah.
It's nice to know that maybe we can be helping you right now.
Like in real time type situation.
It's people who watch this podcast who know like sort of what we're about. So
yeah.
like you could tell that, like reading those there, you could tell that those people watch the podcast because there are a lot of those things like we've maybe touched on slightly.
Yes.
So it's nice to know that you seek our advice because you know that we can maybe help. And I hope we did.
I really hope we did.
I really enjoyed that.
You know what? When we first started this podcast, I wasn't certain what direction we were going to go.
Yeah.
You have to think, we are only like a month we're 5 weeks in now, and this is episode 13, so we're still very, very, very new.
Yeah.
We still haven't got it all figured out. Did I think that people would want our advice on things? No, probably not.
No.
I have to be honest, probably not.
No, I agree.
So it's really nice to think that we can, in some way, help the community, give advice.
Yeah.
Whether you deem it good advice or not.
Yeah, I'm sorry if it's bad advice.
Who knows? Turns out we get the worst advice anyone's ever had.
Breaking groups off left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
We hope that doesn't happen.
No, you know what? This is actually something that we said before this episode of we don't want to tell people to just leave groups.
No, because that's not helpful advice. We don't want to just be like the only option is for you to break up. Like that's not the only option.
No,
that's
it
never
isn't.
the only option.
It isn't. That is really, unless there's genuinely really bad behavior going on.
Yeah.
Or someone someone's endangering your mental health.
I feel like with this, a lot of these could be like if everyone is willing to change.
Yeah.
Not everyone. If people are willing to look at themselves introspectively and say,
yes,
maybe I am doing this wrong, and maybe I could just change this one thing about me, and we can all get along far better. Like we want those to be the options before. Sometimes having someone leave the group is the best option.
Sometimes a group just isn't right for you. Sometimes you're just not going to mesh with the people you're playing with,
and that's okay.
There should always be a chance for that point.
Agreed. I definitely agree. I think, and all of those, like I said, there is definitely a chance.
Yeah.
All of them.
100%.
If people are willing
not gone
to
too far, no way.
If people are willing to take on advice and change and understand that it's not just an attack on them.
Oh yeah.
And that maybe they misunderstood some things.
Yeah.
There's definitely ways that people can change.
I completely agree. So I hope you found this helpful.
Yes.
And please, if there's anything you ever want to ask us, you can leave a comment.
Yeah.
We have a submission form.
Yes.
Which
is where all of these came from.
Yeah, to be honest, some people, again, people who came from TikTok.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people who came from TikTok don't know off the bat, we had a submission form.
Yes, yeah.
So we've actually received quite a few emails.
Yes. Direct emails.
Direct email, which we have put into this pool as well to pick from.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
if you've emailed us, we've got it. Don't worry.
Yeah. But obviously use the submission form.
Please use the submission
form.
You know,
we may miss an email.
Yes.
But we check the submission form actively for submissions.
Yeah, we do. So please let us know if this helped.
Yeah.
Let us know if you would like more episodes like this. Again, we're very much in the learning phase of our podcast right 100%. Now.
Agreed.
And if you would have been happier having a longer episode with more content in, let us know.
Yeah.
Still working that out.
And we're doing it. We're doing it because we enjoy it, but we're doing it just as much for you guys because you guys seem to enjoy this podcast more than we expected. So,
you somehow want to listen to us absolute nerds talking about D&D.
So we're just, we're trying things and we're listening to you guys.
Yeah, any suggestions you have, we would really appreciate it.
And just again, we love you all so much.
Man.
This has just been so much fun. And just it's blown our expectations out of the water.
All we want is to make a community where everyone feels safe.
Yes.
Everyone feels welcomed. There is no gatekeeping. There is no toxicity.
A big thing is we can all learn from each other.
Exactly.
Like we aren't, just because we're the ones sat behind the microphone doesn't mean we're the finished articles.
Oh no, my
the moment we've said this to each other, the moment that we fail this podcast and the moment that we fail as a dungeon master and a player is the moment we go, oh, we know everything.
Exactly. We go, no, that's wrong.
No, that's wrong because I know. It's like, no, we don't. Yeah. Like, we are, like, the amount of shit that I've learned from being on this podcast, from listening to people like Stitches on TikTok and be like,
huge learning experience
being like,
for
us. I listened to it and, this is what I would do. And I'm like,
I know.
I wouldn't have thought of that. That's amazing.
I know.
So, like, we're all on this journey together.
We absolutely are. And we could not do this without any of you. Was that right? We could not do this without any of you? We couldn't do this without you?
That's better. Whatever you said before might have been right, but that's better.
We couldn't have done this without...
We couldn't do this without you.
I think that just about does it, doesn't it?
I think so.
If you enjoyed it, please leave a like.
Yes.
Leave a comment. We love chit-chatting with you.
Yeah, we do. Hit the bell notifications to know when we upload a video and subscribe.
Or don't.
If you like what you heard here, give us a subscribe. If
you hate us, please don't tell us. Please don't. I don't want to hear it. Oh God, please just go. Right.
Amazing.
Well, we have been the Eldritch
Podblast.
I need to eat lunch.
Podblast.
We've been the Eldritch
We have been the Eldritch Podblast. And we will see you in the next episode. Bye.